tight ends, fullbacks. You feel like you're in time warp here a little bit.
It's crazy. It's their offense. They have a lot of guys that do a lot of things pretty well, and they got big guys up front. And from what we've seen from their blocking scheme, is they do a lot of different things. So it's going to be a good challenge for us. We're excited for it. It's going to be a great game at home, a noon game. There's nothing better than a noon game. At West Virginia against Texas, and so I think we're going to get this one done. It's going to really come down to us stopping the run, playing with a physical edge to us, like we kind of did last week, and holding Texas Tech to what we needed to do to get the win. And that's people talk about stats a lot and affecting the quarterback and getting sacks and pressures, and it really doesn't matter at the end of the day when there's a W. So
you mentioned blocking, doing things. Is it pulling? What are they trying to do with their guys?
Yeah, I mean they do pull a bunch. They have they can go unbalanced. They have two backs. They can go 32 personnel, or they can bring two tight ends in the game. They do a lot of different things for a lot of schemes. How they play is physical up front. The running backs run really hard. Quarterback's good. Dual quarterback threat. So it's just another offense in the Big 12. Everyone is different. They have playmakers at every position that we're going to have to game plan for.
You're thinking back to last year's game. They hit you on some runs in the run game. Was it unbalanced?
Yeah, it was. They ran some unbalanced. We didn't move over like we needed to. It was just, hindsight's 20/20 when you're looking at it now. Like, oh, we should have done this. We should have done this. But when you're in the middle of the game, it's kind of sometimes it's you don't get the the reads that you need to, and you don't adjust as a player. So I think this week we'll be a lot more prepared. We know how they do things. We've been playing them now for a couple years, so we know the University of Texas is a great tradition, great football. But they're going to come in here to a hostile environment, and we're going to be ready to play. So
whose responsibility is to get you over when they do go on?
It's all of ours. I should see it, and the linebackers see it. It's just watching film and knowing how they do things, and seeing pre-snap reads that get us to be able to shift over. We've done a good job. We've seen it a couple times this year. We've done a good job at moving over, no problem.
Is it important to identify personnel?
Absolutely. We have guys on the sideline identify personnel for us. They flash us cards, and we can see what they got in there. So, and Coach Gibson does a good job at tailoring what we need to do for that.
So you guys pay attention to what they're telling you as much as looking around saying, okay, absolutely. This is what they.
Yeah, as a D-line, the farther you go back, the more knowledge needs to be done about the offense. At a nose guard, I need to see these three guys in front of me, my triangle. As a linebacker, they need to see the triangle in front of them, and then so it just kind of the farther you go back, the more knowledge you need to have about coverages and stuff. But that's one thing that Coach Tall's done a good job of is getting us to know the whole entire defense as a whole and know what everybody's doing, not just included on what we're doing. So knowing the whole defense and where everybody's going to be at is key to know, to stay in your own gap, not come into somebody else's gap, bump another rusher off, staying in your blitz lanes. So there's a lot of things to it.
One thing they hadn't done until last week against Kansas was hit big plays.
Yep.
They had been kind of methodical in the way they moved the ball. They did hit big plays. Is that something obviously you're going to have in the back of your mind now that they can do that?
Yeah, I mean every team has big playmaking ability. It's just that today's world. You have athletes all over the place that come to any school that can make big plays. So we'll do a good job of affecting the quarterback, stopping the run, making sure they don't have any big plays. And I think if we do those three things, we should be okay.